And a very good Friday I guess it's afternoon now. Friday afternoon, evening, everyone. Joe Benigno back with you again, the Older Pain Podcast. Friday, April 11th, 2025. The Joe Benigno Older Pain Podcast brought to you by the Hackensack Brewing Company, by Anita Discount Tire, and, of course, by our good friends at Manscaped. A lot to cover today. I want to start with the Rangers. I just got done reading an article by the great Larry Brooks in the New York Post. And Larry Brooks knows more hockey than anybody maybe that ever lived. I mean, I don't know if there's anybody who knows as much as him. He's been around forever. He's been covering the NHL for, as long as I can remember. And he wrote the article today about how, with the Rangers on the precipice of being eliminated from the playoffs in spite of their 9-2 thrashing over the crummy Islanders last night. That's about the only team the Rangers could beat is the Islanders. And in 4 games they played them this year, they beat them every game, and they blew them out in every game. But in spite of that, last night, he wrote an article about how it's Peter Laviolette after 2 years has to go. That's fine. And maybe Laviolette has to go, although I'll say this about the Rangers. The Rangers make the Jets coaching situation look like the model of stability with the way they get rid of coaches. I mean, just think about it. Since what, 2012? When did they get rid of Tortorella? I think it was either 2012. I think that's when they got rid of him, after the 2011-2012 season. Or maybe it was after the 12-13 season, whatever it was, right? Whatever it was. So since that time, you had Tortorella, you had Alain Vigneault, who actually took them to the finals. You had David Quinn. You had Gerard Gallant, who actually had 2 pretty good years, although they did lose to the Devils in the first round of the playoffs his second year. So he lasts. What did Quinn last 2 years? He lasts 2 years. Now Laviolette comes in. They win the President's Trophy last year. They lose in the conference finals to Florida, and then the team completely goes into the tank this year and just stinks, right? So now they're ready to get rid of Laviolette. But why is nobody talking about getting rid of Chris Drury? I mean, to me, he's the problem. Why is he above any of the disaster? Why is he getting no blame whatsoever, at least that I can see, for the disaster that the 24-25 Rangers have been? Why? Tell me why. I don't get it. He started out by very unceremoniously kicking Barclay Goodrow to the curb. Actually, after he had a tremendous playoff run, just getting rid of him, all about money. I mean, it was terrible what they did to this guy. They didn't do it well at all when they got rid of him. They traded him to Anaheim, wherever the hell they sent him, somewhere out in the freaking West Coast, and that didn't sit well in the locker room. Then after the Rangers get off to like a 12-4 start, they're actually playing solid hockey, okay? He goes out with this, with his little statement that everybody's up for being traded. Jacob Trouba, Chris Kreider, everybody's on the trade block. Well, ever since then, this team has gone right into the tank. They have never been the same team again. And obviously, he eventually trades Trouba. He eventually trades Capo Caco. He eventually trades Ryan Lindgren, and Jimmy Vesey, And, he probably would have got Kreider out of here already, too, except that Kreider has been up and down and hurt just about the entire year. And he's gone after the year. I mean, he's one of my all-time favorite Rangers. He's right up there, with Brad Park and Gilbert and Giacomin and Leach and Messier, and all those guys, Ron Duguay, Greshno, all these guys that have been my favorite Rangers over the years. Kreider's right up there, and he's an all-time Ranger. But he's going to be gone. He's had a bad year. He hasn't been great on the power play. The Rangers finally scored a power play goal last night by Vincent Trocheck. Oh, my God. I mean, it's unbelievable. But that he's going to be gone. He's gone at the end of the year. And even in a bad year, he's still got 21 goals, as bad as he's been. I know he's only got a couple assists. But he's going to be gone. In fact, who's going to be on the team next year? Well, we know Drury's coming back. Why should he come back? What has Chris Drury done so damn great that he gets a complete exoneration from the disaster that the Rangers have been this year? Because I put the most blame on him. You can kill Laviolette all you want. You want to fire him? Go ahead, fire him. What's new? The Rangers firing a coach. It's like changing socks anymore. But you know what? You want to put it all on Laviolette? That's all well and good. Chris Drury, to me, is the most culpable guy in the organization. He has done nothing but destroy this team. That's what he's done. Let's be honest about it. Destroyed this hockey team. And who's going to be back next year? Well, Panarin will be back. Scored 37 goals. He's had a pretty decent year. He'll be back. Trocheck will be back. Shesterkin will be back. Will Cooley, who's been the one young player all year that's actually elevated his game, he'll be back, right? I don't think there's any doubt. I think Braden Schneider will be back. You'll certainly see Adam Fox back. He'll be here. No doubt about it. I mean, you're going to see the young guys. You're going to see Matt Rempe, and tell me why Matt Rempe was ever in the minor leagues this year. I mean, all he does is get stuff done when he's on the ice. Maybe Barad, who scored a couple goals last night. You'll see these young guys next year. There's no doubt about it. I know Quick's coming back to be the backup. But Kreider's going to be gone. I wouldn't be surprised if Zibanejad is gone. He hasn't had a very good year, although he's played better lately. Keandre Miller's had a terrible year. Basically, every game we're watching Keandre Miller give the puck away in front of the net to set up a goal for the other team. I mean, how many times have you seen him turn a freaking puck over? Constantly. We see it all the time. Unbelievable. So he hasn't been any good, right? He may very well be gone. I mean, we could go down the line with guys that are probably – what's happened to Lafreniere? We thought after the year he had last year, Lafreniere was on the precipice of being a big-time player for this team. He's completely regressed this year. Completely regressed. So I don't know what this team's going to look like next year. I really don't know. But I don't want Chris Drury making the decisions. Why is he above it all? Explain that to me. What is the love affair with this general manager who, in my mind, has done nothing but screwed his team up? But let's get rid of the coaching staff because it's their fault. And I'm not exonerating them. But to me, the biggest blame has to go on Drury. He's the guy that should be the first one out the door. Chris freaking Drury. When is somebody who covers hockey, Larry, and I have the greatest respect for Larry Brooks. Larry, when are you going to write the article about this stiff general manager? And why is he being totally exonerated from the absolute disaster that has been the 24-25 New York Rangers? Tell me that. Explain that to me. So I had to say that after reading that article by Larry Brooks. I mean, just absolutely horrible. No other way to say it. Absolutely horrible. And as far as the other team that inhabits Madison Square Garden, the Knickerbockers, they lost to the Pistons last night in Detroit in what could very well be a first-round matchup in the NBA playoffs. Now, Thibodeau last night sat. He didn't play OG Anunoby last night. He didn't play Josh Hart last night. He didn't play Mitchell Robinson last night. We actually saw TJ Tucker get major minutes last night. And they wound up blowing a 13-point lead and losing to Detroit. Now, the Knicks sit there now with 50 and 30. They got 2 games left to play. They're pretty much locked into that third spot in the Eastern Conference, which means in the second round they're going to play Boston. And you know what? They're going to lose. They lost to Boston the other night. They lost a tough overtime game to them the other night when Thibodeau did not foul when they were up 3 in the closing seconds, didn't foul Jason Tatum, and Tatum hit a step-back 3 to send it to the overtime, and Boston eventually won and swept the Knicks in the regular season this year. And the Knicks lost to every good team they played this year, as we know. Now, I actually play Cleveland tonight at home. We'll see if they can finally beat the Cavaliers. Don't hold your breath for that. But what makes me think the Knicks are going to get knocked out in the second round of the playoffs again if they don't lose in the first round? They're not going to have home court advantage in the second round of the playoffs. We know that. So, things don't look great right now at Madison Square Garden. They really don't. But we'll see. Maybe the Knicks will surprise us. But they have given us no indication that they can win 4 times in a best-out-of-7 series against the Boston Celtics. And right now, the Knicks are headed for their 3rd consecutive year of the second-round elimination in the NBA playoffs if they get through the first round. And like I said, this Piston team will be no day at the beach, although the Knicks should certainly win that series. So we'll see how that plays out going forward. But right now, the inhabitants of Madison Square Garden, not great. I'm sorry. As good a year as the Knicks have had, yeah, they can beat all the crummy teams, but let's see what happens when they play the big boys in the playoffs. Don't expect a good result. I mean, I'm sorry. Just don't expect any kind of a good result there. All right. Benigno, the Yoda Pain podcast. I got to talk about my baseball team. I'm happy with the record. They're 8-4 so far at the beginning of the year. They had a nice homestand, won 5 out of 6, although they basically mailed the game in on Wednesday afternoon against the Marlins. Looks like they were already we're aboard the plane heading to Sacramento for that 3-game series with the Oakland A's that starts tonight with Canning. What's his name again? Griffin Canning, whatever the hell his name is. Griffin Canning on the mound tonight for the Mets. Couple things. Number one, we'll start with the negative. I have very, very major concerns about Mark Vientos. And you could say whatever you want. I've heard it up to people. I'm not concerned. It's his second year. La, da, 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 da. He's not hitting. He's striking out a lot. His defense has been terrible, but I'm not concerned. Well, I'm concerned. After 12 games, I'm concerned. I mean, how do we know that we're not getting a major Southmore jinx this year from Mark Vientos? How do we know that? I mean, he's giving me no signs to think that he's coming out of it anytime soon. And I've heard people say, well, he's hitting a lot of hard outs. I don't know. Then give me a break. I got no confidence in him right now. So I'm not ready to dump him. I'm not ready to say send him to the minor leagues or anything like that. The Mets are winning, so we'll leave him alone. But I got concerns about Vientos. And you're kidding yourself if you're a big Met fan and you're not a little worried about him, because I'm certainly worried about him. So that's number one. Number two, I've had enough of Brett Beatty now. Enough. Get him out. As soon as Jeff McNeil comes back, Acuna stays, Beatty goes. I don't want to see him again. Everybody went nuts when he had the big spring training. They're all diddly. Oh, Beatty, yeah. Well, he sucks. He's a strikeout waiting to happen. He made a terrible defensive play in the loss on Wednesday on what should have been a double play ball. He threw the ball away. He sailed the ball over Lindor's head, set up 2 runs for the Marlins. He can't hit. He strikes out constantly. It's over for Brett Beatty. Acuna stays. In fact, Acuna should be, until McNeil comes back, Acuna should be playing second base every day. Every day. To me, it's not even close. And then when McNeil comes back, Beatty goes and Acuna stays. I've had enough of Brett Beatty. What do they call him? A quadruple, A player, whatever they call him. Triple A plus. He's not really a major leaguer. He's a quadruple A player. That's what he is. He's great in the minors. He sucks in the majors. He's not a major league player. I've had enough of Brett Beatty. As soon as McNeil comes back, he plays, and Beatty goes, and Acuna's on the team. That has to be that way. Number three, how great, and this is a positive here with the Mets, how great has Pete Alonso been? He's the best player right now. He's killing it. He's batting about .330. Got 3 homers. What has he got? 15 RBIs. He's on base all the time. And how about this, too? Aren't you sick? And he's going to make a killing in the offseason. In fact, if I was Uncle Stevie, I would be getting ready to sit down during the year as the year goes on and maybe give him at least a 3-year extension. Because somebody's going to give him big money at the end of this year, especially if he keeps going the way he's going. Somebody's giving him big money at the end of this year. You know that. And God forbid he winds up with the Yankees. How about that? How bad would that be? So Alonso's been tremendous. Maybe the presence of Soto is helping him. I don't know. But he's been great. So, and here's the other thing, too, about Alonso. Aren't you tired about hearing how bad his defense is? This guy's, where? Now, he's not Keith Hernandez or Don Mattingly. Okay, fine. But does anybody scoop the ball on a bad throw, on a short hop throw, on a low throw better than him? How many times over the last couple of years have you seen Alonso save errors from, Vientos, from Lindor, on bad throws in the dirt over and over and over again? And he makes that tough play all the time. That tough ground ball play, he makes it. Yet people look at him like you're probably too young to remember Dr. Strangeglove, Dick Stewart, who played back in the early 60s for the Pirates and the Red Sox. He was a terrible defensive first base. Could hit, but he was a terrible defensive first baseman. That is not Pete Alonso. When are people going to start giving Pete Alonso credit for being the defensive first baseman that he is? Because he's much better than what the credit he deserves. And he's off to the credit he's been getting. And he's off to a tremendous start. So I am pumped up for Pete. Now, next, let's get back to the negative again. Now, I know people are worried. The bullpen's been great. Let's be honest. The pitching has been tremendous. Now, be nice to see their starting pitchers go deeper in games because they really haven't gone too deep. But they've been good, and the bullpen has been outstanding outside of Diaz giving up 3 runs in the 9th inning yesterday against the Marlins, coming in a non-save situation. And I know people are already getting a little nervous about Diaz and all that. I'm not worried about that. I'm really not. This is what he does. Diaz is doing what every Met closer that we've ever seen has done. Going back to, as far back as you want to go. Going back to Roger McDowell and Jesse Orozco if you want. We've got agita from every Met relief pitcher you can think of. Whether it was John Franco, whether it was Armando Benitez, whether it was Frankie Rodriguez, whether it was Braden Lupa, Billy Wagner, we go, the great Hall of Famer that he is, we could go right down the line. Every one of the Met closers over the years has given us agita. Let's be honest about it. Every one. And Diaz, fills the bill too. But I'm not worried. I'm not really getting nuts about it. I'm not. And we know how closers are when you put them into situations when it's a non-save situation. How many times do you see him blow up like Diaz did the other day? So I'm not flipping out about Diaz. I got to see more before I start to really worry about him. So that's another thing going on with the Mets. And then one last thing that I have to bring up here. And I'm not really concerned about him yet, but to this point in his Met career, it's only 12 games. So again, I'm not getting nuts about it. I'm not getting crazy. But let's be honest. Juan Soto has not played like a $770 million player should be playing over the first 12 games of his Met career. He's got 1 homer and 4 RBIs. I know his OPS is 8-something. I know he was on base every game until this last one against the Marlins. I get that. And I think he's really, he's making Pete really get off to a great start. But I got to see more. I mean, so what I've seen from Juan Soto is very pedestrian at this point. And how long, if Soto keeps this up, now the Mets are on the road now. Like I said, they're playing the A's in Sacramento for 3 games. Then they go to Minnesota to play the Twins. So, and then they come home. I forget who they come home to play when they come home. I'm not sure. But, the next 2 series are on the road. But if he keeps doing what he's doing, at some point, let's be honest about it, the Met fans are going to start booing this guy. Now, let's hope we never hear the boos for Juan Soto. Let's hope we never hear that. But at some point, the Met fan is going to start getting all over Soto because he's not playing. And I'll tell you this, too. He's terrible defensively. I mean, I've seen a couple balls that he should have caught that he has not caught. All right? So, we know he's not Roberto Clemente in right field. I mean, that we know. Okay? But that's not what they paid him. They paid him to be a big-time offensive producer, and so far he's been He hasn't been terrible. He hasn't been great. The fact that the Mets are off to a good start has helped. It keeps, it keeps the attention away from Soto not playing like we expect Soto to play. So we'll keep an eye on that. Like I said, I'm not panicking about Soto yet. It's very, very, very early, but he hasn't done to this point what we want him to do, and it's keeping me from getting the Soto jersey T-shirt. I got to see more. I'm not getting it yet. All right, I need to see him do a lot more as a Met before I'm investing my $40 in that shirt. All right, so I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait a little bit. All right. Benigno, the Odor Pain podcast. Let's get the sponsors in here. Of course, you all know about the Hackensack Brewing Company. We'll let you know the next one will be the next live podcast sometime in July. Now, I just came from my son Johnny's place, which, of course, is Anita Discount Tire in beautiful Ridgewood. Beautiful, I'll be all right. Rivervale, New Jersey. In fact, Rivervale's open. There's nobody playing because it's a crummy day. But the sticks are all in Rivervale Golf Course. Got to play out there soon. It's supposed to be nice Monday and Tuesday. I have to get out and play those days. But we actually played 18 yesterday. Blue Hill wasn't bad. Yesterday was not too bad. It really wasn't. It turned out to be an okay day. It really wasn't much wind. Got a little windy late. Like the last 3 holes, it started to get a little chilly. But it actually was a solid day. We got 18 in. There was nobody on the course. It really was good. So really, Terry and I played alone, which we always love to do. So it really worked out good. But anyway, getting back, Anita Discount Tire. Johnny, we had an issue with our car alarm that every time you open the door, the car alarm would go off. That's the only time. Well, he actually seems like he eradicated that today, which shows you what a great job he does. But see him, see his boss, Ari, see one of the great mechanics, Rob. They'll take care of you. at the Anita Discount Tire, Rivervale, New Jersey. You need your car inspected, tires, whatever you need. They'll get it done. Rivervale, New Jersey, Westwood Avenue. Tell them Joe B sent you, and they will take care of you. Need a Discount Tire. And, of course, our good friends at Manscaped. Everybody loves Manscaped. How could you not? And, it's Testicular Cancer Society time. And Society time, Awareness Month. It's National Testicular Cancer, let me say that 5 times fast, Awareness Month. And all men should be aware of that. I mean, look, there can't be much worse than that. And it's called the Testicular Cancer Society Ball Hero Bundle. And that's exactly what's going on right now at Manscaped. They just dropped a special edition bundle that helps support an amazing cause. As we said, the TCS Ball Hero Bundle includes the uncomparable Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, also the TCS Special Edition, the Special Edition TCS Boxers 2.0. I tell you all the time about the regular underwear, not the boxers, but the regular Manscaped underwear, which I wear, especially when I'm playing golf. They keep my balls where they need to be. They don't have them bouncing out while you're up on the tee and, you got a little issue and all. You don't want that. So the Manscaped underwear does just a spectacular job. And now you can get the Boxers 2.0 as well. Join over 12 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. Use the code PAIN, I got a lot of that, PAIN, for 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Check it out. Tell them Benigno sent you. The 5.0 Ultra does a great job. I tell you all the time how it makes your, Scavan look a little bigger. And we all could use a little bigger Scavan, even if it's not really bigger, but only gives you the illusion of it. You're all good. You like that. I mean, what guy doesn't want a couple extra inches, even if it's only looks that way? You know the deal. And the 5.0 Ultra gets the job done. Got to check it out. It's the best. And don't forget, check out also the Manscaped shampoo and conditioner. I've been using it for a long time. Even used it as body wash. It smells good. My wife likes to look at me. We still haven't figured out why. I mean, sometimes I wonder, I'm such an old freaking relic. Sometimes I wonder, has my wife got glaucoma? I mean, I don't know. Maybe she's losing her eyesight. So I look better than I really do. But I mean, anyway, it's hard for me to look too good. But nevertheless, it's what happens when you're an old faded relic. But nevertheless, check out the shampoo and conditioner. It's great. It's got everything. Got everything you first want. And don't forget, check out the bundle. Again, this is a great cause, the National Testicular Cancer Awareness Month, and the Manscaped Special Edition bundle. You got everything in it. You got the 5.0 Ultra. You got the which, of course, is the lawnmower, which does a great job all the way down the line, right? The TCS Special Edition, the Special Edition Boxers, the TCS Ball Hero Bundle, all of that. You can't lose with Manscaped. Tell them Benigno sent you. Yeah, I don't know what I'd do without Manscaped. They do a freaking tremendous job. All right, Benigno, the Oda Pain Podcast. Got a few minutes yet as I drink my water. Of course, the Masters is underway. Now, I haven't put it on yet. It doesn't start till 3 o'clock, at least on television. Joey T texted me, says DeChambeau, who started the day 3 under par, 4 shots behind Justin Rose, is making a move, and that's something to keep an eye on. The leaderboard at the end of round 1, you had Justin Rose Justin Rose 7 under par leading the way. I didn't realize this. This is the 5th time that Justin Rose has been the leader at the Masters after day 1, and he's never won it. So that just shows you how much stock you put in leading the Masters after the first day. But it's the 5th time that he's done it. He's 7 under par. He had a 3-shot lead going into today over Scotty Scheffler and Ludwig Oberg, and 4 shots over DeChambeau, who I guess is making a move now. Like I said, I got to check out what's going on. I'll start watching that at 3 o'clock. But yesterday, Rory McIlroy was really playing well. He had gotten it up to 4 under par. And to me, this is the holy grail for McIlroy, right? He hasn't won a major in 10 years. But if he wins this major, he will be only the 6th player in the history of the PGA Tour to win the career Grand Slam. That's the only one left for him is the Masters. And like I said, only 5 other players have done it. Nicklaus, Tiger, Gary Player, Gene Sarazen, and Ben Hogan. Those are the only 5 to ever do it. Which is not Arnold Palmer, not Phil Mickelson, not Seve Ballesteros, not Greg Norman. None of these guys. Okay, none of them did. Not Sam Snead. None of them have won the career Grand Slam. So this is like the holy grail for Rory McIlroy to win the Masters. Yesterday, he's playing well. He's 4 under par. He gets to the par 5 15th hole. And I tell you, man, there are some tough holes. That amen corner, the 12th hole, all of that. But the 15th hole, par 5, hits a bomb, as he always does, of a drive, 300-plus drive. Second shot, he hits another bomb. He hits a laser that goes actually over the green. Now, you got that creek there. I get, what is that, Raised Creek, whatever they call it? You got that creek there in front of the green. He hits a laser over the green. So now he's got a chip back up to the green, up to the pin. But remember, this green is tilted down that if you don't hit it perfect right to a spot, it's going to roll down back into the water. And it actually had happened earlier in the day to Patrick Cantlay. Same thing. He wound up getting an 8 on the hole, triple bogey. McIlroy gets up for that third shot and does exactly what Cantlay did. He puts it in the water, winds up with a double bogey. 2 holes later, right? Was it the 17th hole he did it? Might have been 17. He winds up, I forget how he did it again. I might have missed that there, but he gets another double bogey. So he goes from 4 under to even par at the end of the round. Now, he's playing now because all the guys that played in the afternoon are playing now. I don't know what's going on right now, outside of the fact that Joey texted me that DeChambeau is making a move. And like I said, 3 o'clock, I'll pop it on and see what we look like. But Rory, that's okay. But Rory, he might have took himself right out of the tournament. So he starts the day today 7 shots back of Justin Rose, who's the leader. So all those guys are playing now. We'll be checking that out momentarily. But, yeah, I'll tell you, man, that race, those holes, man, 12, 13, and 15 specifically are just brutal holes. I mean, they really are. How that short par 3 on 12 is such a difficult hole. But how many times have you seen the guys lose the Masters over the years by putting the ball in the water in that hole? Just ask Jordan Spieth about that when he was on his way to back-to-back wins in the Masters, now 10 years ago, whatever it was. And I don't think he's really ever recovered from that. But nevertheless, the Masters underway, round 2 today. And like I said, at the start of today, Justin Rose 7 under, Ludwig Elberg 4 under, Scheffler 4 under, DeChambeau 3 under. And like I said, he was making a move. So we'll see. We'll check that out as we go forward with the Masters today. One last thing before we go. We're coming in close now onto the NFL draft, just a couple weeks away. And I'm going to say this about my football team. Okay, they have the 7th pick in the draft. I keep hearing everybody that they're looking to take this kid from Penn State, the tight end, Tyler Warren. He's a fine player. Look, if they wind up taking him, they take him. I mean, it looks like he's a fine player. We'll see. You never know until these guys get into the league if they can really play or not. But I'm going to tell you this. Even though I don't think there's any way Shadir Sanders is getting by the Giants at 3, if Cleveland is stupid enough not to take him, because Cam Ward is going 1 to Tennessee. That's pretty much a fait accompli, however they say it. I'm not French, thank God. But anyway, looks like Ward is going number 1 overall. So if Cleveland doesn't take Sanders, I don't see any way the Giants don't take him. I mean, I don't see how they possibly don't. And if somehow he falls to the Jets at 7, I'm telling you right now, they'll be making a big mistake if they don't take him. Don't tell me that Justin Fields is going to be my quarterback for the next 10 years, because that's not going to be the case. If Sanders is sitting there at 7, you better take him. Because how many times have we seen guys start to fall, right? How many times? Whether it was Dan Marino back in 1983, right? Whether it was Aaron Rodgers now, how many years ago that was, right? And everybody thought these guys were going to be going in the top 5, and they just kept dropping and dropping and dropping, right? And how did those 2 guys turn out? Both of them, well, when Rodgers retires, he'll be in the Hall of Fame along with Marino. I'm telling you right now. And I'm not saying Shadir Sanders is going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback. But I'm telling you right now, if he drops to 7 and he's sitting there for the Jets at 7, they better freaking take him. They better not take this tight end from Penn State, right? Or this defensive lineman from Michigan, right? Or this wide receiver from Arizona, right? Or this linebacker from Georgia. No. If Sanders is sitting there, they better take him. And they will rue the day, just like they rue the day that they didn't take Marino in 83. They will rue the day that they don't take this kid. And I'm not saying he's going to be a great quarterback, but sometimes when you get cute comes back and kicks you right in the ass. So I'm very concerned about what the Jets are going to do at 7. You know, we'll see. Now, if Sanders isn't there, he isn't there. But I've said it before. I'd take a flyer on Jackson Dart at 7. Why not? The Jets need a quarterback. And you're delusioning yourself, like I said, if you think Justin Fields is going to be the answer to the Jets being their franchise quarterback for the next, at least 5 years. Think again. All right, everybody, have a great weekend. Check me out tomorrow on The Fan at 10 o'clock. Should be an interesting show. A lot of things going on. Again, as I always say, all the love and God bless America. Everybody have a stellar weekend.